It was a normal winter night in Mifisa, and Masamune and his friends were absolutely chilling. They were hanging out in his room. They were having fun. And then, casually they look out of the window, and the steel factory of their town exploded. Yeah, and then the sky started shattering. And not only that, the smoke from the steel factory started transforming into smoke wolves, and those wolves would actually cure the cracks and would make the world normal again. And I'm just gonna sneak up on this guy. And, the next day, they knew that their world was not the same anymore. It just felt different. You just didn't know how to explain it. It's kind of a weird thing, but this priest was going absolutely crazy about it because he was like, the world is ending and the gods are trying to punish us, and that's why the cracks in the sky are there, and we need to use the sacred machine, which is the steel factory, which create the smoke wolves, to keep living and not keep the world from ending. And we need to appeal to the gods in the meanwhile so they can spare us. They just think about sparing us and not absolutely killing us. So the whole time, the whole city, town, is kind of getting emotionally deprived because they have had research and they found out that the cracks in the sky was actually triggered by emotions, and that, the emotions would absolutely destroy the world. So they had everyone kind of take control of their emotions so they wouldn't start the world and the end of the world. Masamune is a child. He's having fun. He goes out with friends, and then one time he went out with some friends to a tunnel, and then one of his friends, who was a girl, told him she had a crush on him, but he didn't really have a crush back, so he had this whole emotional outburst. And there were no cracks in the sky only, but she cracked. She herself cracked. And the wolves, they're trying to fix every crack. So the wolves went through her and she disappeared. And now, of course, everyone in Mifisa started disappearing. Or not everyone, but everyone with an emotional outburst. And Masamune's dad was actually one of these people who disappeared because of an emotional outburst. But yeah, it's really a lot to take in. And then Masamune rejected that one girl because he actually has a crush on Mutsumi, a girl from, I think, his class, or his school at least. And Mutsumi, she's kind of deranged, she's kind of crazy. I mean, she looks and acts kind of normal right now in the show, but she's a bit crazy. I mean, they're all a bit crazy because they don't really know how real emotions work anymore, because they've been deprived from them so long. But one day Mitsumi goes to Masamune and is like, hey, can you follow me to the steel factory? And he's like, of course, what do you want to show me there? And she doesn't say anything. She just lets him follow. And what he sees absolutely devastates him because it's a child. It's a human little child. A little girl, in fact. And Mitsumi says that she's been locked up in the steel factory for her whole life because she's actually one of the ones who has a big impact on shattering the world. So she got locked up in the steel factory because her emotions, extreme emotions, because she's a child, she can't control them, would end the world immediately. And Mitsumi has kind of been taking care of her for the whole lifespan of that little girl. It's kind of wholesome, but it's also kind of weird because she doesn't want to get attached to that little girl, because if anything were to happen to her, she would also get an emotional outburst and, you know, get a bit cracky. This sounds so bad. A little cracky, but, you know, she didn't want to get too attached to this child, so she didn't. But then after a while, she did get attached, and with bringing Masamune in it, she gets even more attached because now they care both for the child, and it's like a really cute and wholesome thing. And, you know, lately they realized after the world was shattering and they looked into the cracks, and what they saw was a whole new reality. But they realized that that was reality. They figured out that not only is the little girl, which they called Itsumi, from the other reality, which they found out is the actual reality, they are all fake. They're all illusions due to the name of the movie, Maboroshi. Not due to the name, but that's why it's the name, because they're all illusions. And they realize they themselves are not real, and that, you know, they're all fake. They're all just a mirrored version of reality, and the shattering of the sky is just reality trying to destroy the fake reality because it shouldn't exist. You know, everyone kind of goes through a bit of a traumatic experience because they realize they're just a byproduct of a thing that happened accidentally, and that their lives aren't even real but just a mirror. They're not them, they're just someone else specifically. But Masamune, he doesn't really care anymore because he loves Mitsumi and Itsumi as, like, kind of as if she was his child. Which, newsflash, she is his child. Because in reality, Masamune, who is, you know, 30 in reality, and his wife, Mitsumi, lost their child at a festival, which is Itsumi, because she got on a train and the train kind of collapsed with the fake reality, and that's how she got there. But, you know, it's all kind of crazy. But when they figure this out, obviously, they're all kind of, we need to bring Itsumi back to reality. She doesn't belong here. We all don't exist, but she has a life in front of her, and she deserves to be with the people that loves her. And obviously, Masamune and Mitsumi, they're happy. They're happy to do a suicide mission because they know that the world is gonna perish eventually, and they are happy with each other because with each other they really feel like they're alive. They don't feel fake with each other. They feel like they're real, and that's the most important thing to them. And obviously, the suicide mission, it kind of works. And, you know, they bring Mitsumi back to reality. But, of course, Mitsumi and Masamune, they go back to their own fake reality and live happily ever after. Because even if they are fake, they feel alive with the feeling of love. And nothing will take that away from them. But that was basically the story. And I have one thing more to say. And that is,